Hello everyone, welcome again. So in this series, we will talk about the wireless sensor network, okay? And more specifically, we will talk about the addressing of the network. Okay, for example, here we have an example of the wireless sensor network. I took it from this source, okay? Let me activate the pen. Okay, so here we can see this is our wireless sensor network. Let's use the highlighter. Okay, here is our wireless sensor network. Okay, the rest we'll talk about it later, which is the base station. Sometimes actually the base station also considered part of the wireless sensor network. Internet, if you connected to the internet, will be IoT application. This is just a guidance book application, and the end user can access the data. However, now we focus only about the wireless sensor network. Okay, as we can see, wireless sensor network consists of small systems called sensor nodes. Okay, these systems, they will communicate among each of them to report some events. For example, you can use this to monitor the traffic in some area, monitor the temperature of the jungles or any other application. So, for example, if this place found something important need to be reported, for example, high temperature, got fire, got any unusual data, it can be reported through the networks all the way to the base station, which the base station uploaded on the way to the internet. So the user or the monitor station can see what's the issue, what's the problem triggered. Okay, so as we can see here, this is the construction of the one sensor node. Each sensor node consists of MCU and also sensor, for short, to sense the physical environment data, for example, temperature, light, vibration, color, anything, lighting, okay? And also the wireless module. This wireless module, the wireless sensor node, it will use this module to transmit out the data or the events that's been happened, okay? And for sure, it has its own power supply, conditioning circuit, and energy storage, okay? So the issue here is, for sure, we can use any RF or Wi-Fi. Usually Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, we are not using it for wireless sensor network because they consider very power hungry. And since this wireless sensor node, it's very limited in the resources, so we cannot use the Wi-Fi or RF because they are very power hungry. So Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, but we depend mainly on the normal RF and especially the very, very low power RF. And for sure, all the components that be used to build a wireless sensor node should be very, very low power, ultra low power if possible. Okay, so let's forget about the construction and all the mechanisms. So maybe if you want me to talk about this later, guys, let me know in the comments. So I will talk about it, how we choose the low power component, which are the low power component that can be used for the this wireless sensor network, for example, the MCU, low power sensor, even the RF module, etc., and also how to replace the power supply, the conventional power supply, which is the battery. Okay, how we can change it to, for example, energy harvesting is very exciting topics, because for sure, if let's say you have thousands of nodes, it's been separated around the jungle, it makes no sense to, let's say, every few months or even 1 year, you have to go to each an individual node to change the battery. So we can use energy harvesting, whereby we can harvest the energy from the environment to power up the node. That's why we need to choose the lowest possible component for the wireless sensor node, so it can be survive longer. Okay, so our tutorial for this series, we will talk about the addressing. Okay, for example, now we have 4 sensor nodes, very simple. Okay, they need to share information among them. Let's say this is sensor 1, this is node sensor 2, this is 3, and this is number 4. Okay. So now if these RF, for example, sensor number, the wireless sensor node 1 need to send data to node number 4. But for sure, this RF, the coverage area of this RF might go, let's say, might cover this. Okay, cover 4, 3. Okay, the coverage area of this of RF number 1 can cover 4 and 3. Okay, so how we can send this data only for number 4 without disturbing number 3. Okay, for example, if you want to send some data to number 4, but number 3 also will receive this data. So how we can filter it, or how we can address it, that this one can send only to 4, even though 3 still can listen and get the data, but only 4 will make use of this data. At the same time, if let's say number 1, node number 1 want to talk to number 2, but again number 2 is out of the coverage area of number 1. So how? Actually, we will learn this also in the tutorial. Okay, so with this tutorial, we will learn how to address this issue by using the addressing scheme. We will see how we can construct the data matrix with all the addressing and the required data. Okay, so let's go now and start our coding, and we see the first tutorial with the first level of addressing by using Python to Python. And for sure, this one can be done in any language, but first I'll start with Python. Maybe later I'll start with Arduino IDE, C maybe, or then we'll see how in the future. Okay, but first we start with both of them. They will use a Python, MicroPython, or any Python interpreter. So, I mean, the MCU can run Python, so we will see how to write the addressing scheme for them. Okay, guys, so here I already create new Python file with the name wireless sensor network address. Okay, so let's start to do some coding. Okay, so let's say here, where is it? Okay, so let's say here this is, we assume, okay, this is a wireless sensor node 1. Okay, this is the code for the wireless. Actually, I'm sorry, I don't have the RF module now to do the testing on it, but believe me, it will be the same. Okay, so up here we will write the code for the wireless sensor node 1, and here we will write the code for sensor node 2. This is, let's copy it, lazy to type in again. So this is the second one. Okay, so let's say for the sensor node 1, okay, it has the following data, or the sensors want to send. Okay, here is the sensor data to be sent to node 2. Okay, so we have a group of data. After we process it, let's say we have a temperature sensor. Okay, and we have humidity, light, anything else. Okay, well, let's stick with these 3 sensors now. Okay, let's say we already have the temperature sensor, and we read the data, then we store it in this variable. Let's say the temperature now is 30 Celsius. Okay, humidity, let's say any number, say 70. Light, let's make it bright, maybe, I don't know, 100 lux. Okay, so this is the data that we are going to transmit. Okay, so let's display them on the command. Let's say print now we will say the temperature equal to temperature. Then we will print, so this one should be small, okay. Then we will print the humidity. Equal to hum. Then we bring the last data, which is the light. Equal to light. Okay, so let's save this and run our code. So first of all, we display this just to make sure we have the correct one. Okay, so here I'm running it, Python license. Okay, yes, sorry. So this one actually, since we are concatenate them together, we cannot concatenate integer with the string because these are strings. So we need to convert this to string of this. This also should be string. This and this one also string of this. Okay, should be happy now. Okay, there we go. Let's add something else here to print. The node 1 data. Okay, and let's add space, just like empty line. Okay. Okay, so if we run again, so you can see this is the data that we need to transmit to the sensor node 2. First of all, maybe all of you, they will be suggesting, okay, we can just send it one by one. Okay, for example, we can directly send, for example, if we're using RF, especially the, I guess, HC12. HC12 can use the, it's a UART interface to communicate with it, so you can use the same print. So you can directly just say print temperature. Okay, then we're going to print, let's say, humidity. Okay, but this one doesn't work. Why? Because first of all, we don't know these data come from where. Second, we don't know the data coming is what. For example, if the temperature is doesn't reach, or it's got some interference and the data lost, then the humidity will be received first. Then the receiver might say, okay, the humidity is the temperature, then all the data will be swiped out. So cannot send it one by one, okay? But what we can do, we can concatenate them together, okay? We can concatenate them together. Concatenate the data. Then we send them. Okay? How to concatenate the data? We make string, let's say transmission string. okay, equal to temperature plus humidity plus light. Okay, if we do like this, we concatenate them, then we transmit them. Let's say we just use the print transmit string. You see here, actually, most of you will notice the issue here. If we just concatenate them like this, we will got a problem. What is the problem? I guess you guess it already. You can see here, if we just sum them, concatenate them like this, actually we are summing them. So the better way of concatenate them is convert them into a string. Concatenate them as a string. Okay? So this one as string plus this one as string plus this as string. Okay? Now, if we run this again, here we go. Okay, we can see there's 30, 70, and 100. But again, we have some issue here. How we separate them, how we know which one, I mean, this one still can be considered, even though if we convert from string into integer, it still can consider as one long number. So, better is to add some special characters at the end of each number or each data, so it's easy to be separated at the receiver side. Okay? So this is the first fail trial. Okay? Don't do this. We will learn the good one here. Let's copy this. Now we concatenate the data with no, it's just special characters. Okay, special characters. For example, okay, I will send this. I mean, first time I will concatenate or store the temperature, but then I will add on a special character, for example, comma, plus this, plus, sorry, comma here. Okay, so I separate them with a comma. Let's see now. Here we go. You can see now, I have like 30, 70, and 100 all separated with a comma. Beautiful. Now I can know the first one is what, the second one is the third one, because when I receive it, I know. I will search for this special character, then I will split the string, then I will know which one is what. But again, the main problem we haven't solved it yet, which is the addressing. Now, okay, I know there's three data. We solved the one data with any, I mean the one string. We chop it into three more professional data, but now the issue is how to know this data should be goes where. We don't have any addressing yet. It's still just data concatenating. So I need to add on the node address. Now I will add on the node, but any node. Which node? The destination node address. Okay, how to add the node address? We add it, let's say, at the beginning. Okay, let's say I want to send to node 1, so I will treat this as string plus this. Okay, so I add this special address that refer to node 1, but sorry, actually shouldn't be node 1. And see here also we forgot the special character between the first and the second place. So this one, actually, this I mean, we are in node 1 now. Okay, this is node 1. I want to send to node 2. So this one should be the destination, which is node 2. And then again, I need another special character here. Okay, so let's save it. Here we go. So now I will send this to node 2 with this data. Okay. Again, this data, I could send it like this, no problem. Then other receiver, I know the first one is what, the second, the third. But how if, let's say, I don't want to send all of them. I want to send only the second and third, or maybe the first and the third. So it's not easy to standardize our work. Okay. So we can say, okay, at the receiver, okay, this is the receiver side. So for sure, the receiver will receive the same one. Will receive at this side, going to receive the TX string. Okay. So here, let's print. Let's see what the okay. Oops. Okay, no problem. So let's add a separator here, or not here actually. Here we print okay. So now this, why invalid sign? Oh yes, this one should be here, and this is node 2 data. Yep. Okay, so we can see here, this is the data, this is our string, then this is node 2, sorry we didn't print the received data, so we just print we got this, plus again don't forget to change, we need to change, do we need to change string or is this string already? I don't think we need to. TX string, let's try, I guess no need to change string anymore. There's already string. Yes, okay. So we send this, we transmit it through the air, then we got this one, okay? So here at the receiver, we can chop according to the comma, then we can say, okay, the first one temperature, second one is the humidity, the last one is the light intensity. But the thing is, how, let's say, this node, it don't want to send or don't have, it doesn't have the humidity, okay? There is no humidity, for example. If this one got no humidity, okay, no humidity, save. See what will happen. We will receive only two numbers, 30 and 100. But the receiver will always think, okay, the first one should be temperature, the second one should be humidity, last one is the light. But here we have only two, the third one might be like null or zero or give you some error. So how to solve this issue, okay? So to solve this issue, is better to add an addressing also to the data itself. Okay. So let's just comment this. We open our O string, okay, to add addressing to this. Okay. For example, we can say before the temperature, before the string of the temperature, we can say like this. This is the address of the temperature, which is T equal to this string, which is the temperature. Then comma, then so this one humidity, so H equal to this, and also the last one should be here, light equal to this. Okay, let's see how this looks like. Here we go. You see now we have the temperature 30, humidity 70, light equal to 100. Beautiful. So now when we see this, even though let's say some of the data not coming from this node, we can say, okay, the last or only the data we receive, what are they? For example, let's take this, we copy again, we replace with our example here, and let's say this node got no temperature and no humidity. Okay, this one got no this data, only light sensor. So no problem, we can send only the light sensor, and here we go. So we receive only the light. So we know the light, this is the data of the light coming from node number 2. Okay, so this is the what they call the data. Okay, so we can say here we can say this is the transmitted data. Okay, so and then we just print spacer. Okay, then transmitting. Okay, then it will come to here. Okay. Oh yeah, should concatenate with plus save. Okay. So now after all our process, this is the final what they call the final addressing string that we can send it. So even though let's say there's 10 sensor nodes with 10 RF receive this data or this string, they can know since the first byte or the first 2 bytes they are N2, okay, it's not matched with their own address, then they say, okay, this is not for us, they just neglect it. Okay, but only in node number 2 where the node itself, the node address itself match with the receive this string, then they can say, okay, this is mine, so I can open this package and see which data is coming, or which data we received already. Okay, so got data, so okay, so this is the data we got. So now to process here, how it will process it? First of all, let's say this is actually should be go to the inside. Let's say we receive the data. Make it nicer. Okay. So we say the received data equal to what? The received data, we will take the receive string, which is the tx string, we split it. We split it following the comma. Okay? We split it following the comma. So now if we see here, we just see what is the data or the Rx data looks like after we split it. Here we go. You see now, this is what we got. We got the N2T30H, blah, 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 all the end. Then after we split it, here we go. We got back the data, the original data. We got the N2, T equal 30, H equal this, and L equal this. Okay, very easy to further process it now. Then, from after we split it, let's add some comment. It's very good practice to add comment. So here we split the incoming data following the special character. Okay, following the special character, then we split it. After we split it, then here we can process it. Here we can check the reception address if it's match the node address. Okay, how to check? We have to check two things. If the income same like the node address, then it is the correct string. If not match, just ignore it. Okay? Okay, so if not match with the node address, we just ignore it. Okay, so how we do that? So we just need to check again. If we go back again to here, you see now we have to check with the first location of the or the first place of the array. Because this one, after we split the text, the income string, it's become as an array which store in the Rx data. So if we print only, I guess we print it somewhere here. Yeah, let's. So we just delete this. So if we print only the okay, sorry, let's make a copy to here. So this one we can say data after split okay, then if we print only the 0 elements, okay, oops. Oh yeah, can we change this to string again? I'm not sure if we can change the array to string. Yes. Okay, so this is the data that we got. We chop it or split it according to the comma. Then we got these 4 elements. Then we print only the first element, which is represent the address of the destination. Okay, so this is the one we are going to check it. So this is the one. Let's copy this, check here. Remember here we say we have to check the address if it's matched. So we can say check this address with the not address. Okay, so how we can check it? We'll just use if condition. Okay, if Rx, the received data of 0, is equal to N2. Okay, why? Because this is the node 2. Okay, if equal to N2, we can say, okay, this is the correct one. Okay, then I can print okay, this data is for me, and I'm gonna analyze it. Okay, else if this is not the one sorry, if the address not match, so else what will happen? So it mean this is not the one, we just ignore it. Okay, so we can print let's make it consistent. This data is not for me. Ignore it. Okay, so if we save this and we run it again, here we go. So you see now, the last one is this data is for me, so we need to analyze it. Let's add line here. Okay, so now as we saw just now, since this one match, it's already okay. But how if we say this one, I don't want to send to node 2, I want to send to node 3 or node 4. Okay, let's see how it works. So when I run node 2, then here we go. This data is not for me. I will just ignore it. Why? Because here I send actually to node 3. When node 2 come and check, they say, oh, it doesn't belong to this, so I need to change. Okay. But if for node 3, this value will be what? Will be 3. So when this value will be 3, when we run again, then now it will be match. Then to see, yes, this data is for me, and I'm going to analyze it. Okay, so let's return back everything to the original one because we're still working on 2, so we don't confuse you guys. Okay, so how are I going to analyze it further? Okay, here. So as we saw just now, we have the data here already separated into an array. We convert from string into an array. So how to further analyze it? I mean, I want to open it, open one by one, element by element, okay, return back as integer. So first of all, I have to loop back through them again, okay, but without the first one, okay. So if I print, go and analyze it, then I will print Rx data start from 1 until the rest, Control save. Okay, here we go. So this data is mine, going to analyze. I have to analyze only this. Okay, how to analyze this? Let's print line. Now I have to go through each of them for each data in Rx data, okay, for each one of them, for each element in this array, I'm going to do what? First, let's see how we are accessing them. We bring the data, okay? So for each element, I'm just going to print it, okay? So if we see, here we go. You see now, we separate them each one in new lines. So it means every loop, I'm accessing one element, second, third, and fourth, okay? So every one of them now I'm accessing every and each element. So what should I do now? I should declare a new array. I will name it sensor data. What I will do here, I will take this data and I will chop it again or split it. Do split. And we're searching for what now? If you see here, if I want to split these three elements, the last three elements, I should search for what to split the number from the identifier from the address. Yes, I should search for the equal sign. Okay, so after I split them from the equal sign, let's bring them back again. We print, then we print. Lazy to do print line. Okay, so we print sensor data. Okay, here we go. So after this, we print the sensor. Sorry, this one shouldn't be sensor data. Should be like this. Okay, sorry. Okay, so here we can see that after we receive it, see N2, we cannot split it further because it doesn't have equal. But if we come to this T equal 30, here we go, we separate it. T70, we separate it. 100, we separate it. Okay? Here, I believe it's better to bring this to here better, yes. Yes. Okay. T30, H, and L. Okay. What else we can do? Now again, we should just check the first. If you see here, we change back every data to an array again. Every data to an array again. Then we have to check again, same what we did here. We check for the first element, which is data of 0. Now we have to check for the sensor data of 0. Okay, so now if the sensor data of 0 is equal what? If it is equal to T, what does that mean? That means this data is actually the temperature, the received temperature data. So I can call it the Rx, the received temperature equal to sensor data of what? Of 1. Okay? Why? Because if you see here, after we split it into an array, so the data or the sensor data of 0, it's become the identifier that we check here. The sensor data of 1, it become the value. Okay, just like the identifier value, identifier value, identifier and value. Okay, that's all. Then we have to continue for the rest of the variable. Else if the sensor data of 0 is equal to what this time? Yes, h. If equal to h is mean the Rx humidity is equal to sensor data of 1. Okay, same goes to the last data. Else, if this one equal to L, is mean the light is here. Okay, that's all. That's easy. So then at the end we can maybe here. Nope. I have to, after we finish the loop, so this is the loop. Okay, we'll loop through. After finish the loop, then I will bring them out. After we finish, then we can print what? The Rx, we print this, or let's copy them. Copy. The Rx temperature, the received temperature equal to this. This one should be here. Now humidity. Okay, that's all. So let's run again. Here we go. So we can see the temperature 30, the received humidity 70, and the light is 100, which is exactly matched with the one we send here. Okay. So with this way, we can very easily not only addressing the node itself, but we will address even the data that constructing the string. Okay. So again, we review here. First, we have this data. Any data here we have, you just concatenate. Say you have like 100 sensors data, we just concatenate here. Okay. Then we can concatenate like this, but remember to add the special characters is very important. So we can later we can split it on. And also remember to add the address, the destination address, and also the identifier or address for the data itself. So now if we change, let's say I don't want to send to 3, I want to send to, sorry, not to node number 2, I want to send to node number 20. Let's see how our code will behave. They say, okay, after say it received, then it will split it, then it will check this, check if the address is equal to 20. They say, nope, not equal, so this data is not mine, I'm just going to ignore it. But if happen to be this code is 20, okay, so I mean this, actually, if we make it more applicable, we can, the first thing we can set here, was the, this is node number 2, so we can set here node address equal to, then we set, for example, n20, okay? For example, this is node 20 or even node 2. So we can use this as a variable equal to here. Okay, then we save. So now, since the source and destination, they are matched, because here, sending to N20, this one, the receiver is N20, so this data is for me, I should analyze it, then there we go. So this is the data of the 3 variable. Okay, so here we return back to true, and here should return back to true. Actually, here also I can, we can, I mean, with the variable, I can set the destination address equal to and 2. Okay, so this destination or not destination, whatever, just put it here, save it. So this one will be n2, and the receiver and 2, so now should be happy, and this one should be working. Okay, so again, here is our variables. Okay, we concatenate them, then we add the address to the destination to where we should send this. Then we add a special character, okay, to spread the data first. Then we add another address for the data itself to know this is the temperature, this is the humidity, etc. Actually, now we can make a new testing. A test. If let's say I don't want to send temperature, okay, I don't want temperature. For example, this node got no temperature. See what will happen. We didn't change a lot, only the transmitter, it will change. Say, okay, this node don't have temperature and send without temperature. See what will happen after. See, it will receive only the humidity and light, no temperature, because we didn't send the temperature. It's very, very practicable. Okay, let's say, okay, I don't want light now. The light got some error or issue with the lighting. Okay, no problem. We can send without the light and see how our code will manage the thing. Okay, it's not defined, Rx. Okay, we got an error here. This one, because the Rx not defined. Okay, then we need to define this as 0. Okay, it's better to put this inside the. Okay, we cut this. We put it here. Yes. Because just now it's come to print, but this one doesn't identify it because there is no variable there. There's no. Okay, so light. Okay, we save. So now should be okay. Yes. So now we have the temperature and humidity without light. Okay. So this code very practical. Okay, because we delete the light. Okay, we just keep it like this. Got to save. We test again. Should be work. Yes, beautiful. Okay, very practical. You can change the sequence of the data, even the sequence actually of the data now. No problem. Let's say you send the data, you send the light first, then you send another thing. It won't be issue. Why? Because we already have the address. Let's say, okay, it's a good example. Now I say I want to send the light first. Okay, so it's the light, then temperature, then this. Okay, so I have extra one here. Okay, so there is this lights. Okay, we need another comma here. Okay, so now if you see, we send light, temperature, humidity, not temperature, humidity, light. So let's see our code. Should be okay now. Nope, not okay. Okay, then this is extra plus, not needed. Here we go. You see, even though we change now, when we send the light, temperature, and humidity. But when we receive, we correctly receive the temperature 30 equals 30, humidity 70, humidity 70, light 100, 100, even though you change. Why? Again, because we have the addressing for the data, not only addressing for the node. Okay, so after we send this, then after we receive it, okay, at the receiver side, okay, first of all, I will split the received string. I'll split it based on the special character I will say. This one should be only comma. We should use like n, percentage, any special character that later we can split it based on this. And then after we split it, then we check the first one because we already know the first one is the node address. Okay, we check the first one. If the first one is matched here, if it's matched with the node address, then okay, this is mine. If not, I just ignore it, just forgot about it. If matched, then I will come again, okay, to take this data. I'll go through the array because this one, after we split it here, this has become an array. The Rx data is an array now. I will go through each element inside the array. Okay, I loop through them. Then again, I'll split them based on the special character of the data itself. You see here the special character, I split it or separate it using the equal sign. Okay, so I'll split it based on the equal sign. Then I will have another array here, which is the sensor data. Okay, so sensor data has become another array of the sensor data itself. Then I will check the first one that should match. If we open here, we see here the sensor data is here. This is the sensor data. So this is sensor data of 0, sensor data of 1. If sensor data of 0 is equal to the address I set, for example, I have temperature, light, humidity, vibration, acceleration, any other data I have, I will set it here. If they are matched, mean okay, this data is the one that I needed for temperature, humidity, or anything else. Okay, so after I collect them all together, then these are the variables that I'm going to use them for my process, for further process. For example, update the internet, I do some process on them, maybe display on the graph, save them on the SQL, any other analyzation or any other further processing. It will be based on this Rx data, so Rx temperature, Rx humidity, Rx light. Okay, so thank you very much. I have reached to the end of this tutorial. This is the very first one. Okay, so we have learned how to do it in Python. Okay, this is after we send and receive in Python environment. I'm thinking the next one will be based on maybe Arduino Uno. We see how to do it in Arduino because this is in Python. We learn how to do in Arduino Uno also. I mean Uno or any other platform. And yeah, until then, see you later and have a good learning. Please let me know any doubt. Let me down below. Let me know. Then I will try to reply you as soon as possible. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye bye.